Hi everyone, this is Evelyn. I have so much juicy stuff to bring you guys today. I have the read on the table, the Twin Flame abbreviated read. It's not my 7-deck read. And I have a message of the day, but there's a lot of in-betweens and stuff today. It's just kind of knocking me off my seat. All right. Today is the 21st of May. So we've left Taurus. We're now in Gemini energies. And Gemini is all about communication. It's 3:28 on the clock. It just turned to 3:29. 3:28 is the 3 of the Empress and the 28 of the 2 of Wands, or the Twin Flame energy. I'm so excited. There's so much really cool stuff that came through this week. So we're going back to, I think the 16th is when I did the read on the table. Yep. And then I was about to present that day, which the top of the page that day starts at 444, which is the angelic realms, and that number was coming up yesterday too. And right as I was about to start presenting, I did my little meditation for you guys, and right away came through something that I already knew the words for, and it came through right at 144 when I wrote it down. And 144 came up very significantly in my Instagram. I just posted that I had received a miracle at 1:44 a.m. the other day, and then 1:44 p.m. the aster flower came through, and then in the morning I was taking a video of the sun at 10:10, and that's the video I posted of the sun becoming the heart after being kissed by the sun. So everything's coming together. I'm going to give you what I just got now, and then I'm going to start from this read that day. So today, oh yeah, and the symbolism, crazy stuff. All right. Today is when I woke up today. I did my counting back 20 to 0 today. And I noticed too this week the roses are really blooming this week. But the message I got when I was going back into my meditation as I woke this morning was Swan Lake and Nutcracker Sweet. So I did see a little bit. I was kind of going into a self-regression, but I wasn't fully committed. But I did see male feet again, but with ballet slippers on today. And then the night energy was coming through as the Nutcracker Sweet. All right, so the masculine energy with ballet slippers on, and then the night, which I posted as the female knight rescuing herself, were coming through this morning in Swan Lake and the Nutcracker Sweet. So I pulled my past life cards that I usually do in the morning, and the underlying energy today was the farm, and below that was the masculine feminine with the Native Americans, the Celtic and Asian fears or phobias, as the pictures were depicted as the teepee, the church, and the throne, or quote-unquote monuments of monumental fears, and keeping it simple down on the farm because of all of these fears. And the farm picture has 2 horses on it, and that energy of Mr. and Mrs. Ed. So the first card that came out was leaving or travel, then persecution and inquisition, and the knighthood. And I'm going to show you because the energies are very important. I have shuffled since then. Let me just get these cards out the way it came out. Sweet phobias, and then farm and leaving or travel, persecution, inquisition. All right, so this guy came out too, and this one, okay, and the tree and the mother, and then the male female started off. So the underlying energies we're coming up regarding, oh, this was very interesting. And that was what I pulled. This was coming up. All right. So these are the 3 cards that came out first, okay? And very significant, right? As the Knight and the High Priestess, and she's looking at him lovingly, as in he doesn't know what he's doing, right? He knows not what he does. So we have the suitcase, leaving her travel. I just want you to get this visual as I talk about this. And then these 2 came out, this religion and spirituality, and the trees. And here's this energy of light, this shady energy, right? It's not full light, it's soft light coming through the trees. Came out second. And then the 3rd section of cards came out the mother with the children with unrequited love, and the father connected to the child right here. Okay? And this is what I was getting from that. The phobias was coming up here. The, I don't know where the Asian card is. I don't have that. But the energy of the TP, and then the Celtic energy, and then the Asian energy, which is kind of a cold feminine energy. And then the phobias here of those, and coming into the farm with the 2 horses here. And it started off with the male female. So it's everything, all these energies between the male and female. And I was getting the energy of left on the railroad tracks, or quote unquote railroaded, the High Priestess strung up with the Knight guarding the door, imprisoned by belongings and sworn to uphold and protect. She looks upon him as he knows not what he does, having things you need to protect, references ownership, studying scripture, and hands by the soft light, symbols of shadow and light as the light filters through the trees to create shade, not so bright. A softer side, the canopies over us that overlie the state, the church, the family, the state of temple being. By day you seek shade, by night you seek the sun for more light. Mother and children with unrequited love as the father leaves them to their own devices, he's leaving to hunt to secure his prey, right? To bring home the kill for the family to feed them. But it's coming up as leaves to hunt to secure his prey, a prayer. And then I picked a card which ended up being the underlying energy of the father again. And the first card that came out, the only card, is the arts, which is T hearts. Father and child, but not sweethearts. T hearts, the key codes with strings attached. All right, so those are the cards that came out this morning. So then they were with the T heart. They were taking me back to yesterday, which the thymus gland was coming up, and T cells. And this was at 12:26. 26 keeps coming up too. That's the Page of Wands. And of course that year is coming up. And it also for me is Newton's cradle. So T cells and the thymus gland, and what was coming up was, as soon as I wrote thymus, was kingdom come, thy will must be done. So thy and must is coming up as the thymus. Thy will must be done on earth as it is in heaven. The thymus gland stops growing at around age 13 and then starts to slowly shrink. And by 26, it lists that, your body finally adjusts to it and gets some balance there. So, and it references, being detached from God. When you're 13, you start rebelling because you don't have that function anymore, right? The thymus protects you. It fights infection. And now you're being abandoned at age 13 from what you feel is source, right? Because it stops growing. And then by 26, you start to mature and level out. But it was just interesting, the numbers that came up were 13 to 26 as it slowly withers. So you're grounding and integrating by age 26, or in other words, going back to the gods and your I am presence by 26, or finding some of your higher self, right, by that age. And again, Newton's cradle. And the picture of Newton's cradle with the 3 balls down in the middle, which is also 000, which represents the 1,000 sons of enlightenment, was also coming up as the 111 strings, which 111 is also, the 1 is an arc because it's just 2 dots in a line, and it's really an arc, not a straight line. So the 2 arcs is the circle, and then the 1 line in the middle is also pi. 111 is pi, but it's also 1v1, which is co-creation, which equals M, the mountain, the mother, which is also co-creation. One initiates or triggers action on the other side. But make no mistake, the repercussions are echoed far and wide in the middle, right? The ball hits the 3 balls in the middle and then affects the 1 on the other side. In 1,000 suns of illumination. So also the A and E of Adam and Eve were coming up with arts and entertainment with the energy of Lord Master JC in the middle, which is EN. So Adam and Eve and Akene also came up. The Akene cells, the 144 cells that are talked about that lie behind the thymus, that are immortal cells, indestructible troops of the Christed inner child, raised in consciousness. Again, the thymus, thy will must be done on earth as it is in heaven. Aware of their present moment. And how does it, not what do you think, but how does it feel? English accents, French butterflies, Greek isles, Kos and Evia, all Greek to me. And then to me was coming up as tomb. And also Marissa Tomei came up here, but the T-O-M-E. And again, there's that capital T again of the thymus, and the Om at the heart, and the E of the temple, one equal and congruent to the other, where Marissa was coming up as the C is A. And by the way, she's a Sagittarius. I had to look that up. C is A, T, Om, E. All right, so this is coming up as her name, Marissa Tomei. C is at Om, E. C is also the arc. It's the bridge, it's the rainbow, it's the whispering bench, it's the Christ consciousness, is at Om or home, E, which is the temple, and one equal and congruent to the other. And I was getting cat on a hot tin roof. Cat comes up from this as well, and Kate, and isms and home. The C, whispering bench, arc consciousness is at Om or home in the temple. And I wrote Tempe by accident, so something might be going on with Tempe there. One equal and congruent at 1251, the Hanging Man and the King of Swords. One and yet completely apart, sovereign, whispering to each other, 1 to 1. So at 144, I did my meditation, and what I was getting again is I'm Soul and Sophia. Came up, I think I posted that on my last video. Excuse me. I've been doing a lot of yard work, so I've been getting a bit of all of the growth. There's a lot of growth going on right now, kind of getting stuck in my sinuses a little bit. But 144, I am Soul and Sophia. So that came up in a couple different ways, but one of them was So-El and So-Sophia. And Phia being P-H-E-A or I-A, can go both ways. And then pH can be F as well, as in F is digamma, which also represents the twin flame energy. And then Ia, which is also Enki in the number 40, where L in So-El, soul, is Enlil, which is associated with number 50, the 10 of cups. So we have the page of cups, the most innocent, and the 10 of cups, which is emotional family fulfillment. And 50, it was coming up also as 5D and 4D. 40 and 50, 4D and 5D. Remember, 4D is about love and light, but 5D incorporates both the light and the shadow. Very interesting, right? So twin flame 40, and then Sophia comes up as So-Phi, P-H-I-A, which P-H-I-A is just missing the L for Philadelphia, which is coming from soul. So soul, So-L, Sophia, or Philadelphia, right? Which is the city of brotherly and sisterly love. It's really about sibling love, not just brotherly love. And then it also comes up as putting the Sophia and So-L together is also feel, which is feelings. So-L of light and So-Feel of feelings. Remember that Enlil held the L down, right? The reason why the capital letter L is bent, it's because it's the light. And remember, this story also came up recently, that Enlil held the L, or light, down and bent it. But it was so that Enki could break it and learn then how to fix it. So then, I told you last time, then Enlil gets seen as the bad guy and Enki is the good doctor. Holding down the divine feminine, or Enki's twin sister, to understand how it is creative, wanting to get their secrets, right? So his twin's name is Ereshkigal, and notice how Kegels are there, and it's also Ki of the earth, like Enki, and Gal. So she's the Ki, the earth gal, and then Eresh. And actually, I was going to look that up really quick. Let me see what that says. What was Resh? Resh is the head, or Ethiopian king, as the headland. And of course it's a letter as well in some alphabets. It also comes up as running race, quick motion, rush, to precipitate, fall, rain, snow, all that kind of stuff. All right, so that's it. So precipitation, the Ethiopian king and head. And running, like race or rush, motion, and the Olympics are coming up. So that's significant for that. So she's coming up, we're just being told that she's coming up because of the Olympics coming up here. It's a very significant, it's the 33rd in Paris. And, right, which is referenced as the city of lovers, right? Or what is it, the city of light? I can't remember which it is, but I always feel like French is like the city of lovers, or Paris is. But Eresh Kigal would be E of the temple, one equal and congruent to the other, right? That means they're one, but they're also completely separate as sovereign beings. And here is the running here of the king of earth and his gal, Eresh Kigal, disappeared from Middle Earth. And so Enki could hardly bear the pain of being separated from his twin sister. And this is coming up from MesopotamiaGods.com. So he says, let her be, repeated Enlil, Lord Air, for the 100th time that day. She had gone beyond his known boundaries. You could separate Mother Ki from Sky Father on. Your word, Enlil, has the power to bring things forth. And then Enlil says, I can't. She is beyond reach. I am the guardian of the earth. I have responsibilities. I watch over Mother Ki and cannot leave the Middle Land unattended. My duty, after causing Mother Ki and Skylord On to separate, but you, Enki, can rescue her. The bond between you and her as perfect twins is too strong. Only you can seek her out. You will know just how. You will just know. Enlil is underlying here, is afraid to lose Enki to his despair, as he then heals. And Enlil asks for his help to learn and grow together. And so then he's coming out of his depression and is finally excited to learn again. So out of Mother Namu, the sea, the watery deep we all came from, Enki said, water by nature can also be molded in countless forms depending on the vessel that receives it, and yet never loses its essence. So perhaps life should be a sort of molding and shaping, always evolving and changing to allow for countless possibilities, not a preconceived plan, but as a process and a God as existence unfolds. As I myself must learn, evolve, and grow, and if I want to be able, and I was getting Cain and Abel, to rescue Ereshkigal one day, and one day, that quote came up in my definitions the other day. It was one of the phrases that was coming out from the definitions. Ereshkigal one day completed Enki's statement. And Lil's word, like God's word, and Enki's craft, shape, and meaning here. So Enki becomes Nidumud, image fashioner, lord of the archetypes, patron of crafts and skills. He was assigned all sweet fertilizing waters and the underground springs called the Apsu, which also can be referenced as the primordial father. Now Enki withdraws to the southwest edge of the land between the river, biblical Eden. It's described as a jade lagoon and calm blue fringed with palm trees. And on his walkabouts, he would stop only by the great reeds. And that's interesting in Egyptian too, the letters that represent, I believe E is like a double reed. The great reeds to see the tireless, diligent work of their mistress. And they describe the sacred cedar wood as a wood that is strong with blessings attached to it. He builds a boat with this wood, being on the quest to get his sister back, to face Ker and the underworld for the love of his twin sister and best friend. Ningakuga helps him off. So he likes this other girl here, right? But he's determined to get his sister back. So going on past the sterile of the desert, still waiting for the quote-unquote kiss of the sun, which I just posted, on his mother, the water, so he's traveling by boat on his mother water, with stones hitting the keel of the Magar boat, which he's weathering a storm here, learning to control his emotions. And now, all of a sudden, he comes to this still blackness. How can his fire and mother water, which are naturally in opposition to each other, how can they cooperate so that he can proceed? And he goes into his inner essence to find where fire and water can meet without being consumed. I am the well of truth that brings enlightenment. I am the disperser of the spirit's darkness. I am the form that transforms brightness, is my gift to beings of all sorts. And then he was able to move forward. Then this voice came in, which he assumed is Ker's voice, because that's who he thinks he has to face. And he confronts him and says, "Where is my sister?" as he's now in the underworld. This robed person says that his sister reigns sovereign here, and those who worship her may never leave. He refuses to leave as what he says as a loser without her. He continues his descent. Now that he had come this far, descending into the netherworld, he refuses to go back now. So Ker, who's his half-brother from a different mother, and Ker told him he must enter the netherworld as born above, and he's assuming who he's talking to is Ker, is born above. He has to do the same process. Naked, no weapons, with a purpose to fulfill. So he can't come into the netherworlds with any weapons, prepared to fight. So he's thinking about this, and he tried to understand it, but he felt paralyzed by his fears. But he pushed on for fear of being a loser. And then he felt disoriented and vulnerable, and everything that he had valued inverted here. Challenged, and listen to this quote, which I always talk about with the twin flames. Challenged and turned upside down and inside out, a voice finally then said, "You will adapt in time. if you have pure intentions here, you will be harmonious here. If you are in fear, you will have to confront your demons, so to speak. And I'm paraphrasing. He must confront his shadows before finding healing and regeneration. There was dark, coarse sand that glittered, and mysterious twilight above, a subdued kind of brightness with no stars, sun, or moon, and the light came, it seemed to come from within and the actual land. A robed figure came in to greet him. The underworld was death, but he had been reborn here, in the realm of essence, where life and death met, rhythm and transformation of energy and form to heal and regenerate. That all is linked in. The land of no return became paradise restored, present now with deep respect, realizing that this person he'd been speaking to was her, in black and silver, and knowing his own soul, she now one with the great guardians now. Father An for the sky, Ki Ninersag of many names for the earth, and Lil for the air, and you for the sweet shape forming waters, and myself for the underworld, which is Hades, right? In the cloak, and representing dark night of the soul. As she balances all pain for the worlds above, before healing and regeneration can take place with the weight of the world on her shoulders. She says, I am needed here to help others find the treasure, and your magic is needed in the worlds above. But why did you leave? Well, Kerr was I know you want to know about Kerr, and Kerr was a friend, a companion and guardian, who helped me to learn. But what did you really want to know? And he said, did you leave me for Kerr? Did we fail you somehow? And she says, I came here due to the highest will in me. Perhaps I failed you and then Lil, but I don't think anyone really failed here. I am bonded to you and Lil and the Anunnaki people. Until you understood my quest, I could not say a word, as you belong to the heights and me to the depths. Form upright and essence below. She scoops up some sand and a seed for him to plant, to be a gateway to this and many other worlds. The one who finds this fully grown seed in your world that you're taking home with you now, basically, will be the one who will keep the door to the worlds wide open. And as I will, so be it. They parted knowing they'd always be able to find each other. He coming home to Ninga Kugas, perhaps, maybe, he's seeing a relationship now. And the seed that he planted was the most sacred of all trees, the Huluputu, or Halaputu, I don't know how it's pronounced. But that tree is associated with Inanna on the banks of the Euphrates, which is the generations after them. Now, this tree, I'm told here, had been uprooted. And Inanna, granddaughter to Enlil, the story is told here. Or is this Lilith, or is this someone else and not Inanna? You know, there's always questions there. But the tree is described as having snake in its roots, but no fruit, no foliage. But the crown was emerged with birds and its young. And then there's this story of the brothers coming and not resonating with her, and then finally, I was a little confused about this story. This was from worldhistory.org, where it tells the story of her first husband, their second husband, Enlil, and then third was a consort, and then the fourth was Nergal, who agreed to receive her within the realm of the dead. So again, we're going back now to Enki's twin. With Inanna, it talks about her finally getting someone to sit with her on her level, like resonating with her, and that comes up as Gilgamesh. And then they use this tree. Finally, he carves a throne for his holy sister, a bed for Inanna, and she a ring for her brother and a rod for them as well. But they talk about them as both the sister and Inanna, and then the brother, and then Gilgamesh. and thus goddess and heroes sit together as friends. And again, there's that energy of the oneness and then the sovereignty. And then from worldhistory.org, Enki's twin, it says second husband was Enlil, third husband, fourth was Nergal, who agreed to remain with her in the realm of the dead, right? So most people in the living realms, like 3D, don't want to go to the other side, right? They don't want to give up having sex with lots of women, or, you know, whatever it is that you can do in 3D, but you don't do in the other world. So Queen of the Night comes up as her name, which one depiction is a naked woman with downward pointing wings standing on the backs of two lions and flanked by owls. And I just posted the white lion and the white owl on my Instagram. And here we have this energy of her standing in two worlds, holding the two worlds together, which is where we're going to end up today in my messages. Really cool with some visuals. And again, here's this energy of the white lion, which is a Tibetan energy, and then the wise white owl as well. The picture here held symbols of power, and beneath the lions, images of the mountains in the background, which mountains is also the people's remembrance. And again, the cattle raid came up, and I want to bring that up again because cows will come up again as well today. And then I ended this today at 3:14, which is Pi Day, which we're going to get into that again as well. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into the read on the table first. All right. This is on the 16th. And I cut the deck at 5:25 that day. 5 is the Hierophant, 25 is the Knight of Wands. And I finished clarifying at 5:38. Which is the Hierophant and the Queen of Cups. And that comes, both of those, 25, the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Cups, they're very significant here too. All right, let's roll the die. For the twin flames, for the best and highest good of all who's concerned, of course, we have the 2 of the Divine Feminine, of the Higher Self, the High Priestess energies. So I got some teddy hair on the table. We have the Aquarius here, which is also referencing the age of Aquarius now, and the water bearer. And then we have why am I blanking out? That's Neptune. That's Pluto. I couldn't think of it. So we have Pluto there. Pluto. Where'd you go, Pluto? Right? I'm just blanking out for whatever reason. And then we have the sun pointing at us right here. And there's waters. Notice it's like 2 bridges or 2 lands, and then the waters between. And how do we bridge them? From Pluto, which is Scorpio, and 2, which is the High Priestess, which is mainly Pisces, but I get Virgo and Aquarius sometimes too, so we could have both of those there. But we have, and Scorpio has been coming up a lot this week too. And both Scorpio and Pisces are water. And then we have that Aquarius energy here. So the water energies with Aquarius is what I'm getting. But this also came up as the bridge being the land between the waters. That came up in my last message too, as opposed to the land bridging the 2 lands. That the land is the bridge between the waters, right? The water is the primordial source. And there's life in the waters, right? So here we're talking about the underworld. And we're talking about Enki and Poseidon. All right. So the major arcana here in this read is the higher self and the underlying energy. And then we have the wheel here too as the challenge. And reflection is the hermit card here. And then the Starseed is up there in the present moment. And alchemy, which is right here as the block. So the challenge and the block are both major cards here. And then transition at the end here, which is that Scorpio energy. There were 2 wands, 2 pentacles. Oh, by the way, the lovers and karma, which is judgment, and reason, which is the emperor, and the underlying energies over here underneath. 2 wands, 2 pentacles, 1 sword. And the main player in the read is the Nine of Wands. There's no other court cards, just the wounded warrior there. And we have the Knight of Wands in the underlying energies over here, and no people over here. I did pull a few extra cards over here too, which we do have the Page of Cups over here and the Page of Wands. So the code line here is all about the number 24, which is the Queen of Wands, from 10, 6, and 8, which is the Wheel, the Lovers, and the Strength card. And what came up from this code line is the after death energy. I was just getting RE, but instead of RE here, the way it's written, I was just getting reincarnation, after death reincarnation, or regarding the 10 of destined flash of light, the 6 of the Lovers, and the destined wheel of the 8, and 6 and 8 is also the Page of Pentacles, this higher love transition. So this is very specific. The rocket axis spin, which references the Earth spinning on an axis, and the rocket, which are, we're taking off from Earth all the time, but again, Earth is our ship as well, and the rocket, they're both transport, but we don't see the Earth as transport, we see it as our home, and then the rocket is transport somewhere else. The blast off from Earth to challenge flash of light, and then Challenger was coming up, challenging the flash of light or lightning, the lover's destiny, infinite alchemy in death. How interesting is this? I did this on the 16th, and I just told you what came up today, all about the netherworld. So also what came up is homeward, from home, the high vibe flash of light, and the lover's high vibe dance to alchemize this transition. And 6, 10, and 8 again were coming up here, which is the wheel in the middle with the lovers on one side and the 8 dance on the other. That can also reference the 10 as destiny being July, with June and August on either side. Now we start with the higher self reversed at 556, which is the Hierophant and the 2 of Swords, being present and quiet. It's kind of like a priest and or a nun in vows of silence there. And then at 558 here, I'm starting with the Knight of Wands. The one card right here is the Knight of Wands. Breaks up with karmic without a reason, or being unreasonable, or without a reason, with no peace and in need of peace, or irreconcilable differences. With rest, break, or sleeping with X, the Page of Pentacles reversed, uninvited, and this could be someone who's staying over, but they weren't invited, they just showed up and stayed, right? Ending pain or in a painful end, or pain in the ass, or dead tired and clingy, or near-death experience here, or taking care of someone after surgery. So Gemini, Aries, Pisces, Virgo are all reversed here. Aquarius and Scorpio is reversed too. Aquarius was the only one upright here with Judgment. Decision, call, wake up, and jacked up, quote unquote. Angelic music, home in announcement, or in announcing a big celebration, as the Knight of Swords reversed is lashing out at their therapist's office, or the Aquarius and Virgo both upright here holding their tongue so that the Hermit can take a look. And that could be the dentist, that could be at the doctor's office too, or just getting advice from someone. Someone might have cold hands here. That's what made me think of the doctor, cold hands perhaps. And another or sister who can't keep secrets. And as soon as the cold hands came up, I remembered back to my childhood, because we always had a male doctor, right, which made little girls very uncomfortable, and also he had really cold hands. The recent past here is the Nine of Wands reversed. The wounded warrior surrenders as truth, or information came in to the King of Pentacles reversed about a third party or partiers being strong in the Two of Cups one-to-one connection. The foundation of reflection, which is the Hermit, of the High Priestess reversed telling secrets and over it, or needs to use their intuition in travel with the Empress, or a mother or grandmother kind of energy here. With Virgo, Cancer, and Taurus upright and Pisces reversed, perhaps Pisces reversed and or Gemini reversed is cranky or dead tired and needs to get over it to move or travel with Taurus or Mother, perhaps a fire sign, child or pet, left or is home. The central energy here is the Six of Wands upright, with good news, triumph leading the way, or presenting news, or being present to news here at 623, which is the Lovers and the King of Wands, before walking away into that good night. And I titled this page Flash of Light. And then remember, Enlil held the light down and bent it, but it was Enki who broke it, right, to learn how to rebuild it. So disillusioned with a marriage, divorce, or spirituality and lack of commitment at work or regarding working together, challenged by the wheel, destined King of Wands upright with Queen of Wands reversed, stressed out or not sleeping due to love being offered by the world or Pisces, a neighbor, divine feminine, or coming from the whole package. There's being love offered here, or one authentic and out there, right, fully naked to the world. And now here present is the Starseed upright, the Fool who's free from the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups reversed, with a big download to the crown. As the Page of Swords reversed, maybe bad news at night, or the King of Cups reversed, negative Cancer, who's dissatisfied with themselves and drained, or in great need of a vacation suddenly, or suddenly sharing or settling out with the Magician, or working the night shift with an epiphany about sharing their own magic or tools, and knocked for a loop perhaps. With Cancer upright, Leo reversed, and Scorpio, Gemini, or Virgo upright, soon here is the Eight of Pentacles reversed, overworked or not aligned, or it's just not working out, offering passion to chase them away, because maybe they know that they don't want it, offering passion to chase them away, to turn and lead in patience through the storm, good news to fallen angel, heartbroken, or cardiac calf, after pushing it off long enough. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Ten of Pentacles reversed here, as the family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, or just overall spent, as the Ten of Wands upright is Atlas, who is slaving for them. The King of Swords, the King of Swords reversed is giving up, surrendering to the Knight of Cups, who's offering love to the Page of Cups reversed, assessing worth after being rejected in the past with bad memories about that. And around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Seven of Swords upright passing downloads. And I was getting Kaplunk, like the Kaplunk game, as they come. Overworked as the Knight of Wands rushes in to take over the shift, starting over with the Queen of Cups reversed, and challenged by the Alchemist reversed here. The Hanging Man powerless to detox or dependent, breaking chains of impatience or losing patience. As Saggy and Capricorn are reversed, Pisces, Capricorn upright, and transition is not happening here with the Page of Wands and the Queen of Swords upright, but the Two of Pentacles reversed is between them, like breaking up the act, or just, off from work with the daily grind, but together breaking patterns or dropping the act post-war, or dealing with PTSD and letting go to fix and make amends. After a death or ending, or clinginess or near-death experience, with no choice but justice, or no choice because of a judge or Libra, and Aquarius reversed, or depressed Knight of Pentacles reversed, Emperor, who's reversed, and stubborn old man in energetic exchange with those out in the cold, injured or ill, or this could be, your father or grandfather or uncle, someone like that, in the hospital, commiserating with other hospital patients. Perhaps one left behind offers the Ace of Pentacles, right? That could be a big offering of a new life, new start to something or something physical. And offering this to Libra, or destined to end the Ten of Cups reversed cycle of no peace and defenseless to those energies of being under attack, and released at the same time with new information, a decision made, or clarity, but then being knocked off balance, losing the battle or competition. and needing to transition and empower oneself to move on or just move and take control of themselves. Perhaps there's a lot of back and forth for doctor's appointments or offering a new life. Perhaps handing over time, money, or effort to good timing, to end an emotional cycle after the war, but not quite to peace yet, and defenseless to the release or making a decision to end the conflict. This could be a relay race here too. A passing of the baton, so to speak, at 10:33 is the wheel and the Christ vibration, and the Seven of Wands of standing up for oneself. The King of Cups is reversed, perhaps Scorpio or Libra with Scorpio in their chart, or Aquarius or Aries in their chart, with the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, perhaps Capricorn and or Virgo, with the Emperor King of Cups reversed, which could be two people or one and the same, in energetic exchange with the Hermit left behind, and over it, with the Page of Wands excited to heal and ascend, or on the road to the Page, I'm just getting the road to perdition, on the road to the Page of Cups reversed, indigo, or rejected proposal here, without a choice or chose a path already, and detoxing, the Ten of Cups reversed, right? That could be detoxing an emotional cycle end or a very unhappy family. As the higher self is reversed and reflecting the Ten of Pentacles reversed, receiving stolen property or ideas, the Wounded Warrior reverse surrenders in order to win, or gives up to win. Maybe throwing the fight. I was just getting throwing up. I don't know what that's meaning. But challenged by destiny of overwork and losing patience, the Starseed knocked for a loop by clinging Nine of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles, which could be siblings, very earth energy, feeling left behind or out in the cold, by the King of Cups reversed, busy and over the emotions of it, of excitement and depression on the road, and the Page of Cups reversed, indigo, proposing without a choice or breaking chains with the Ten of Cups family, or ending an emotional cycle with them at 10:55, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Truth, or Excalibur. Pisces or Virgo reversed, Aquarius, Gemini, Scorpio, Sag reversed, Virgo upright, Libra upright, Aries upright, and Virgo and Libra both, and Cancer and Pisces all in their double upright energies. So really good energies for Virgo, Libra, Cancer, Pisces. And then the Knight of Wands after a breakup with unreasonable karmic, unpeaceful and needing to use their intuition, perhaps sleeping over without an invitation. And then the center energy here of victory of the Hermit and the Fool, challenged by destiny and impatience to get there, but overworked with the Ten of Pentacles reverse, family, business, or community, or it's just not working out, and debt is increasing due to dysfunctional family, business, community, or loss. As the Knight of Pentacles upright is covering at work or doing overtime so that the Queen of Cups reversed can get their shit together, so to speak, and start over. Okay, so that's this read. So then on the 17th, I pulled my past life cards in the morning. It was 10:14, and the underlying card was food and hunger. The first card out was leaving or travel, just like it was today. And then medicine man or woman, vows, authority figures, and then Asia with phobias, and Celtic again. The wisdom and tree, the orphan and Native American. So after the War of the Roses, the religious knight or spiritual hood, standing guard of the community, where new ships are coming in, a food supply or food for the poor. The first energy out of leaving or travel, where the bags are packed to catch a dream with web and feathered friends, or making house calls, vows of service to build a home, to heal through building, hammer and wood, sword and stone. As we just talked about the wood of the sacred tree. Asia Minor, phobias major, with Celtic chords to Neanderthal, but I was seeing it as Netherland that we were just talking about. Asia Minor, phobias major, with Celtic chords to Neanderthal. Celtic cross is CELTIC, which is seal of light of the inner child at the heart. And then the energy of EWNS, east, west, north, and south is coming up as Sown, News, Wens, and Snoo, Temple of Two U's and Christed Sophia, the Rolling Stones and the Sine Wave, the Axis Spin, Force and Movement, the Gravity of the Situation, Fears between Asia and Ireland, Scotland and UK, the Highlander and the Lowlander, and the Mountains and the Sea. Hi, honey. Those above and those below, as above, so below the surface, with north and south, east and west. The words, all the words with those letters were coming up. Sown is already sowed. News, as in report or new things, information of interest, current events. And then wens, which is wish and peace of mind, hope and expectation, good company. Snoo, to snow or did already, to abound or to reign. And swen, which is care, and swne, which is Egyptian for sale or to buy, which was really interesting, and to open. Because to buy now will come up with the actual power to buy. SENW was coming up as the tendon or nerve bundle, and SNWE as number 2, and the circle. NESW as Sudan, Northeast Sudan, and the nest, as we're talking about the Euphrates River too, so we're going back to that area again, and the peninsula. And then NWSE as no worries, be happy. NWES as half a coconut used to get food. And then WESN, to be, exist, to go, or be equal. ESWN also is coming up as swan, the swan coming up here. And ESNW as educationally subnormal woman or work, slave, and a male servant was coming up under that. Also, EWSM was coming up as emergency water supply, early warning system. EWNS as to be blue or foggy, or Jew comes up there too. And then ENSW to envelop, and ENWS as name or noun. So the Temple of the Swan and of the Swan Lake then came up, which also came up today. And so the Swan Lake and Lady of the Lake both came up here. Snowing wishes, reported and sown, for sale, to buy. A bundle of nerves encircled, 2 in net, resting at the cape, as soon as he, she, or it splits a coconut for food, dessert, wild grapes, to be, to equal, and to go. Swan, milk, maid, slave, educationally subnormal woman or work, male servant, or early warning system. That to be blue and foggy is to envelop in name and reputation, person, place, or thing. In unicorn wisdom, co-creation is divine Om, the family tree with sun filtering through the leaves, the orphan children of Native America. Friendly, rich, and powerful realm, kingdom. So then wisdom and kingdom were coming up as really, truly, certain, and sure indeed, the energy to wobble and swing, the meadow, the house, and the womb, currently a bend, curve, hollow, dell, bow, and field. The energy in God, the bridge to the top dog, human divine, do co-create domain, dominion, as 2 U's is dom, D-O-M, which equals dome without a temple. It's an inn, a domain, and mountain is mount, and inn is an inn, always on, even and still, one's own shackles, the dome and the mount without a temple, reflecting the furthest back, a story about a cattle raid, where dom, D-O-M, is also judgment, decision, verdict, and damnation, as yesterday was the 20th, and the energy was coming up. So then the king comes up here, the royal house of cloak and mantle, of lord of the soil, and then Enki comes up again, right? Because that means Lord and the earth. So king is key of earth, and then NG, which is also, N is code for me for Christ, and G is God. So the energy of the T and the G, which is top dog, or G is the C and the T together, the Christed God energy, the leap to source. So the king comes up here as into, towards, I, to walk, nanogram, NG, where ENGI is to cry, meadow, water, to perform in narrowness, nothing, no one, none. Earth, I, and water, meadow, to wake, perform, narrowness, nothing, no one. The key is Christ God here, the bridge to source, right? The key is earth, the energy to wobble and swing. The earth, house, meadow, womb, hollow at the bend, at the dell, or the bow, the 0 point field. And then the word American was coming up as am, ER, and can, and ERI is different. I am different, but I still can. American is am, ER, I can, the inner child one. American, or leap of one. From the past life pull, the Native American came up in the underlying energies right after that. And then the first card again was the arts, which is the T hearts. Native is Nat, IVE, which is unforgettable. I, the holy place of offering. M, Erica, or Eric one, or one who is and can. Rika is veil and line, request, and chili pepper. Loving veil, line, arc, and request, which is request, a quest for the impossible dream, the second coming. Loving M, temple, a me, aim to arc on second quest. A C, I can, a male or masculine, to drink. And again, the little engine that could comes up here in I think I can, but no, I know I can. A C, male, a C, to drink the water. And then different variations of the C, right? Because all of the MER is C, MAR, MUR all have a definition of C in them. But MUR is also U2, and MER is also the female horse or the mare, and the apple tree, and the sky. And ICA is grace and mercy and favor, to laugh with this, and mother. A C, to drink, a masculine tall drink of water. A sea and sky, mayor and mare. Daring and flexible. One of grace and another of mercy. America, land of the free, was coming up as Merrick, because Merrick is merit, and America is black pepper, white pepper, and Rican is chili pepper. So we're literally black, white, and chili, but also referencing the red, white, and blue of America. One who peps, injects with enthusiasm, energy, and water, or high spirits. America is A and A on either side with merit in the middle. To be deserving or worthy, or one who gets all A's. Between 1 and 1 is the letter H. 1 and 1 connected in the middle is the letter H. The rocket merits rocket. Stone ET, or stone plus, and fem rock, third rock from the sun, Sophia U, Christed, where one merits one, equal C's, and C's. Which then, merit is mer, which is C, so the letter C comes up here too. So now we have A, C, it, A. To be, or not, the number 2, and B. And then ICICA and ISICA were coming up from America, which is incentive, partition wall, or bridge fortification stone wall. To groom, polish, MMA came up, so the Eseka is MMA at the end, without the MMA, is the sword and the shield, without water, without mother, without the Mrs. or Madam. A sick masculine without water mother. As I just told you the story about Enki taking this trip on his mother water. So the sword and the stone is the S word and the S tone, the path of one, and the Om of home. So the S word as the masculine is coming up to speak word, and then on the feminine side with the mother is coming up just sound, tone, Om. Sound is so or undulating, the waves, so one divine. Sign O-U-N, one divine, or 1D, or one day. This is the quote I'm talking about that I referenced earlier, where it comes out one day. So referencing first dimension, or just one day, or one spin, having a spin, maybe taking a spin around the block. So H equals two walls and a bridge in the middle that connects the two ones. The bridge, the Om, the home, one to one. And if you take the lines away, because lines are just dots connected by arcs, we have the 6 dots of Braille and the 6 on the die. And the 6 dots actually means the word for, F-O-R, in Braille. So H equals 4, but it also equals 6, which is 46 of the 6 of cups, the innocent children, right? And they both, has to do with co-creation, 1v1, because 1v is 4 and v1 is 6, and they all come back down to the middle, which is 5, and. Or 6 and 4, or lovers 4, the F, which is digamma, or twin flame energy, or human of the tiger, 1v1 of loving children, and co-creation of divine bliss, 1-to-1 with fortification, and spiraling 6, the sphere or earth, and fortification or walls. So right here was a really cool message that came through. So they were showing me 2 circles side by side representing the 3D and the 5D, and they're each represented as pi. So there's a line drawn down the middle of each circle, and then the line that connects the 2 lines, which makes the H inside the 2 circles. And what this represents is the 3D earth and the 5D earth. The vertical line in each one, the pi, that makes it a pi, is the masculine, who needs to hold down the fort, reaching out to source in both 3D and 5D, in order for the feminine to bridge both realms and hold them there with 1 foot in one world and 1 foot in the other. All right, and that is this symbol right here. Okay, just a quick look. Okay, just a visual. So right as soon as I got that, I was like, wow. So the H represents human as well, is the fortification bridge between the 3D and 5D, using the 1D spin, or quote unquote 1 day spin, as I does fall over to H, which makes the IH, which is I high, spinning 2, bridge makes 3, with 2 walls, 2 seas, from sea to shining sea. Again, the land being the bridge from sea to sea, right? Those energies being very important, not land to land being bridged, but sea to sea being bridged by the land. The America bridges the seas and anchors it in. So now they're saying the feminine is anchoring in the primordial waters of each dimension, 3 and 5, in order to hold the portals, which was the tree. So the tree that Enki's twin, he gave him a seed at the end, which he would then go home and plant as a tree. And she said, whoever finds this tree will keep the gates open between the dimensions. So the land, mass, and sea, because the human are both water and mass, source and density, plasma, ether, the nanoparticles getting closer and closer together, then becoming cold as ice, but still water, and still waters run deep, as we were just talking about Enki and his little journey where it got still and dark, and then he ended up in the netherworlds. So we have the H of the human, one's own shackles, but it's also one's own shackles are the in. Mount Ain is always even and on, But waters is watt-ers, electric-ers, ers of the tiger, energizes the ERS, which is the temple, one equal and congruent to, and awakens and laughs. The age of Aquarius, aqua rius, is the emotion of laughter. And then the word box, which is the B, which is 2, but it's also 13, the transition of the ox or hugs and kisses, but we talked about the cattle raid and the ox, and cow comes up again. The temple awakens to the box, and again, the black box can be coming up, and also Jack in the Box, that kind of energy was coming up here. To be the ox, the hugs and kisses, one equal and congruent, laughs, in transition to human, crazy 8th chromosome dance. The masculine keeps the vertical father connected in 3D and 5D as the feminine locks in the bridge between the realms, horizontally leaping across both dimensions, straddling 2 worlds and holding pi open, the T and the T, right? Because the masculine is making that line in the middle of the circle, connecting to source, top dog, while she then connects both of his connections to top dog. So now we have T and T on both sides, and she, the line connecting down here and holding those 2 realms together. Really interesting. Okay. So then we get to plasma again. And plasma is clear golden blood or lymph with fibrin. Green quartz, liquid silver movement, that liquidy, you know, kind of like mirage kind of energy, oily. A portal or mirage, a high energy state of matter or watt-er. To mold, shape, express, model, or to give shape to. Ionized gas, all senses, partially ionized gas and electrons. So it's energy of a matter's state and density, and then the ether of the heavens, of pure air, light or day, upper world, ethereal matter and brightness, above the clouds, the void, nothingness, an atmosphere, aura, and oxygen bonded to 2 hydrocarbon groups, or hydrogen and carbon atoms. And of course, ether is a medicine, right? They used to use in anesthesia, which is C4H10O. So ether is also considered the 4th element, but plasma is also considered the 4th state. Plasma giving shape to ether, having bending of light as housing and bending of light as ma or mother, giving shape to and molding. And who does that? Enki. Expressing, remember, right? Sophia is Soph, the wisdom, and then Ea is Enki. Right? Soul, S-O, S-L of Enlil, the brother, and then Sophia of the wisdom of Ea. The ether, which is A-E of ash and bright light and Pleiadian, and T-H-R, which is the high road, the bridge over troubled waters. Right? The land between waters isn't the troubled part. The troubled part is when you bridge from land to land because you're not seeing the water. So at 144, someone had shown up who keeps asking me for work that I don't have to give to them. And then at 146, we just talked about the 4 and 6 and 6 and 4. I was getting the energy of expressing bright light. Don't lower your energy. So going back to the 6 dots of H and Braille, and also being 2 ellipses if they've fallen over, and expresses all of the alphabet, the 6 dots. And AB was coming up specifically, which also translates to water, seaman, and seaman. The A and B are 1 and 2, which equals 3, or C, of water, of seaman, one who watts or electrifies, and the masculine C, C, and C of the ocean, your sight, and the C of the bridge, the whispering bench, the ark, the rainbow, the Christ consciousness, running through the earth. So, right, the masculine is that vertical line running through the earth, or the ether was coming up here, because earth is ether, right, the different words, earth, heart, ether, terra, wreath, or there's another word I was using here too. the infinite ear, hearing T or top dog, the bright light of taking the high road, the bed of water, ray, now, at once, blooming early, or wreath and run. The other word is R-A-T-H-E is also an earth word, which means quickly or blooming early. Now at once, and chariot and pleasure also come up with that word. So to hear T, the infinite ear, bright light and the high road, of infinite ash or bright light of of the tiger. Terra, yours at once, now blooming early. The bed of water or earth, your ray. T-ray, regarding infinite A1. Plasma, and all the worlds of plasma then came up. And this word, M-A-A-P-L-A-N-E-E-T-A, which means terrestrial planet, M-A-A, which is also Earth planet, Mother Earth, Mother planet, or Sophia, right? Just Mother Nature in general. The primordial mother of the water, please. And M-A-A is also the ground, the earth, the master, and Mu. The hand, the finger, and 5, which is that middle number between 4 and 6 and 6 and 4. The totem water mother there, because of and to hold, to seize, rain, a lot, which has to do with the waters again. And also plasma comes up as plasma, and plamos is flattery, to impress, or it used to be oat custard because you used to give that to people to make an impression. And there is a fifth state now too. So the fifth element being ether, but the fourth state is plasma. The fifth is the opposite of plasma. It's then going to very cold, right? Plasma needs heat and energy to sustain it, whereas then it goes to the Bose-Einstein bond there, I think it's called. It'll come up. So plasma comes up as the words I used. Plamas, maples, a malps is a chipmunk actually, and pals, which is water buffalo or white cow. There's the cow coming up again. The water buffalo with black horn and nail. Lampas, L-A-M-P-A-S, surpassing, going past, penetrating from one side. And also means torch and glow. So there's a whole bunch of these. Amplus, Slampa, Sampla, which is sample. Splam, sample, Sam P-A-L, which is slap on the face, and then P-A-L-A-M-S, which is without concealment. And malpa, like a faux pas, malpa is bad passage. And malplas is stinging or smarting. So plasma, lampas, amplas, sampla, maplas, and ampals is what I used with housing angels, mother, or bending light as ma, torch surpassing, glowing, kind, word of horses, with swelling in mouth behind the front teeth, surpassing or passing by, penetrating side, to unload and be suitable and ample, magnificent, glorious, spacious, with a handle on both sides, as an example of what stings or smarts, with white cow or water buffalo, with black horns and nails. Please, ma, openly hungry, and pals, plays at the Alps, to stain and get dirty or slap on the face, a slut perhaps, that stings. Ma, please, your little chipmunk, please, ma, unload a kind word to be suitable, magnificent, and glorious example of ma, who you are, of course, right? So flattery will get you everywhere. Plasma torch surpassing ample glorious couple of ma, with malpas and ampals in the AM, ma bending light with pa amping all. So here's that reference to Ma and Enlil bending the light, where Pa amps them all, like Enki, and creates something. Bad fathers and mourning pals, one to hold down to break something so that Pa can fix and win. So then the Native American came up with the arts, which is T hearts, which just talked about T and the top dog. And also Native American, the arts is NAT, unforgettable, and was coming up as sweethearts or sweetie hearts, and time for hearts. Unforgettable H of one-to-one and co-creation. Neil Diamond was coming up here. And to kneel with Diamond, two worlds with divine breath and soul, soul and Sophia, plasma giving shape to the ethers, and Terra, earth, hearts. So this energy of plasma here giving shape to, or Enki giving shape to, the earth, or the feminine energy. Playing Soph Ma, or playing their mother, to mold bright light highway of soul and Sophia. All right, so here's the mother and son. Right, he's trying to play the mother, but he's got to get in touch with the father in order to make this bridge. Plasma is rare on Earth because it requires high temperatures to keep a gas in plasma state and ionized, but at high kelvins, 1,000 to 1,000,000 degrees of plasma dominates. The main elements being salt, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and then the sun with energy photons emits plasma, including gamma rays, X-rays, or ultraviolet radiation, and can create plasma by knocking electrons away from their atoms. High voltage electricity, as in lightning strikes, can also create plasma. Urine process is with plasma without the proteins in it, but the P doesn't have it in it anymore. It's urea with amino acid, inorganic salts, creatine, ammonia, and pigments of blood breakdown. No longer gas at 80 km and up, ionized gas, electrons, positive ions, and neutral particles, or the fourth state of matter, or they consider it really the first state of matter. Sustained energy, heat, electric, or light, ultraviolet, or laser, is needed to strip the electrons from the atom. 99% of matter in this known universe is plasma. Plasma is more affected by electromagnetic fields than by gravity, and produces its own electromagnetic field, chaotic state, radiation, arcs, sparks, and flames. All right, so they're just some basic definitions that you can look up on many different sites. And the ether, so TI and DI were coming up here, and both can be twice, right? So ether is an invisible, feminine, magical energy field that permeates everything. Plasma acts and is superheated, masculine. So openly samples Earth, Heart, Terra, plasma to ether bridge, and then Gaia or Gia, the energy of astral bright light comes up here, of GEA, the energy of GEA, of G, which is CT, or the arc to top dog, the temple rocket, the energy and direction, right? So the feminine is the stillness, but it's the energy that you need, and the masculine is the energy and direction. So plasma without concealment comes up as malpa or faux pas. Ether is like the diastolic, and plasma is systolic, the whole made of several parts. And I posted this on Instagram too. He who is speaking is cis, and Dia is you, heaven, sky, godly, divine, to eat, etc. The feminine is and the masculine acts, diastolic and systolic, ether and plasma, heart and beat, lightning up and water fall. He acts up and down, but she stays all around. Ether is the transcendence of the 4 elements of being. Right? But they're both the sum of their parts. Plasma is the transcendence of the 3 states of being, as in states. And the 4 elements of being is in elements. Ether is bright ethereal atmosphere, aura, that plasma brings shape to or molds. All right, so the feminine is ethereal energy and the masculine brings shape or molds them direction. Expresses in a portal or mirage, an oily scene, a painting, or scene, a movie. Ether is the infinite highway of ash and bright light. Ether either or is fine, as plasma houses the bend in the light, as the mother bends the light, as father houses and amps it up, right? Or breaks it down in order to recreate it. Like Enlil holding the light down so that Enki could break it down and rebuild to learn from reverse engineering. Lord El and Lord Ki. El Ki is nature, character, quirk, and then Ki El was coming up. So keel, an even keel, that word is very significant here. It came up again today, actually, keel. K-I-E-L here, the bottom of the ship, or the keel, which came up in Enki's story about the keel of his boat. The degree of ki, or manner or state. How cool, and the Maltese falcon here, fang dusk, canine cuspids, and this symbol here, to take or to eat, and E-K-E-L, I-K-E-L is in Arabic, and the Arabic writing kept coming up. So keel is like even keel, and el-ki is character or nature of elements of being, the even keel being a degree of state or plasma of being. Right? One is coming up as the degree of state, and the other the nature of element, both of being. So then they were being paralleled as ice, water, vapor, plasma, and then breath, air, vapor, ether. But both of them become vapor, just like minus 40 Fahrenheit and minus 40 Celsius. They meet at that point. It's the same thing. They meet at vapor, right? They meet at hello. And I posted this on Instagram too. The gas of Eden in the ship, right? Because vapor equals Eden, which Eden was most likely a ship where we were actually seated, as we were just talking about the seeds that Enki's sister gave him to bring home, and that whoever found this matured tree would have the keys to opening both worlds and keeping them open. So fire, air, and water, earth, igniting the breath to light, thought creating, water, emotion which energizes to then release and disappear like magic. Breath or fire, light, and electricity, the aha idea to manifest things to disappear. So again, the energy of the suits, right? Getting to manifest, which is pentacles, and then to disappear out of thin air, making the magic, into the stars. So plasma into the ethers, where they meet at vapor, the Garden of Eden, down from the ethers, in the ship to experience air and then other elements, and then to breathe it all in, and then expire it all out. And that was funny too, because that day, when I went on my iPad, it said that Pennsylvania was the 5th state. So funny. So the 5th state is actually called Bose-Einstein condensate, BEC, or Beck. Or BEC, actually EC is my initial, is my maiden name. Light up and water fall is the heartbeat, and I brought that up before too. But that both comes up as a function of plasma, right? Because that's the action of lighting up and falling, whereas the feminine energy is just the beingness. So on the 18th, this is when I told you I saw miracle at 144, and I actually have a reindeer ornament that I got from a medium back in, I think it was January of 17. And she had 3 gifts to give messages to of the whole group. And I got one of the gifts, which was this reindeer that says to just believe, right, in miracles. So here I have 144. I was listening to a video and they talked about miracles, and I looked at the clock, and right as it turned 144, she said miracles again. So miracles came up, and then the next 144 was then the aster came up, which is also a star. And when the 144, I took a picture of it, and it said 80% charged, and 80 is significant too for me anyway. And 17 minutes ago came up again as well, which is the star, which I just said asters, the star. So in the past life deck that day, communal living came up, and this was at 10:38 to 39, the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. As the first card out was Persecution, Inquisition again, the Masculine, Feminine again, Lessons and Blessings, and Galactic. The underlying energy of imprisoned by fears of communal living due to having been persecuted, and the Inquisition hung out to dry for healing and belief systems of the masculine and feminine roles and role-playing, third-party unrequited love, even though the couple may not be harmonious. So again, being a third party because there's a marriage staying together, or a relationship that may not be harmonious, but keeping that commitment. Lessons and Blessings of Galactic Nature, 2 flying kites, and kites came up in a different way too. Time stopped, and Time Traveler's wife goes galactic, and there's that Gal act, and Enki's sister is Ki Gal. The inner galactic is the Gal act of the inner child. And then Humiliation Wound came up too. My great-grandfather, his wife had an affair with the mayor of Sacramento, so there's this big humiliation wound, right? And he was like I always call it a militant do-gooder. So spirituality and religion with the Native American came up, the male, female, monk, and nun, or not, again, these vows of not having something, not having sex, or very proper in their marriage. The mother raises the children and the father puts the hammer down. And someone loses their child here, whether to adoption or custody, or left on a doorstep or river, as in Moses, in Greco-Roman times. The father wounds, the mother wounds. And again, then my own wounds coming up as being rejected by everyone because we weren't religious growing up. So then you're, in essence, rejected by any church, synagogue, mosque, temple, wherever you go. Mother Mary, and then being rejected. My mother's name is Mary, so I'm rejected by Mother Mary, and then I'm rejected by my own Mother Mary. And then the underlying energy of galactic, the one of the orphan, and I have felt, oh, and there's this big, I've felt it too, when I'm traveling out in space, I can't find my home. It's gone. Like I know it's not there anymore. And there's this big orphan kind of wound that my home planet is gone, destroyed, or no longer livable, most likely just gone, and then I was getting gone girl. Seems innocent and easy going, protecting their image, or have been wronged and getting revenge, or airing dirty laundry. And again, the orphan child coming up here. Okay, so now I have this message. Sorry, I didn't show you a picture of this read, but I have a picture for you. We have the Journey of Love, the Good Tarot, the Energy deck, and the Rider deck here. So here's my message of the day read. Hopefully you can see them okay. I can't tap my phone because it might turn off. So the cards to the left is the underlying energy. Usually 3 cards will come out for the pick, and then whatever extra cards want to come out organically I use in numbers or to finish the storyline. And here, these were pulled at 330, 31, 32, and 33. So 333 was actually those lovers reversed that you saw. The numbers at the end came out 2121 or 22324. 2 hangs out with 1, or 2 hang, the King of Wands and Queen of Wands, and that was at 338. 2 worlds collide also came up right there. Okay. So at 339, which is the Empress and the Knight of Cups, the underlying energy is the 15 of the Mother Praise, 2 Fire, the 28, Strategy is 21, and then the Lovers reverse, which is number 6. Capricorn, Pisces, Gemini, and Fire, the Mother Praise for Child's Choice of Path, complete with strategy. Journaling direction with compass attached, a need of affection or trying to find a lover, or given a choice between the world and lover, but not both. Right? You can have one world or the other, but not both, which is what Enki's sister was basically saying to him. Like, you can't live in my world and I can't live in your world. So we just keep our etheric bridge. The 26-8 of the Page of Wands, Guardian of the Soul Family, the 69 of Contemplation, the 68 of Dropping into Your Heart, the Mother Praise, 15. In the Vortex, Parent and Child, the 698 Pod of Contemplation, the consciousness like the whispering bench, the consciousness of the Christed human, and the temperature of the angelic Tyon, the tiger-lioness connection, or source on. The Page of Pentacles dropping into their heart to meet the Page of Wands, lion's heart. Is the mother praying for them, or are they praying on them, or are they praising them? The Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles pod, and we have the 268 coming up here and the 696 pod. And here's that inside out energy again, face to face and back to back. So the 698 pod is face to face the 69 pod with it becomes the 8 in the middle. But the 9-6 is back to back. It's like once they flipped inside out through and through, they're now corded back to back. The Page of Wands contemplates offering the Page of Pentacles a new life, but is there a codependent mother in the way who may have good intentions, but are they the same intentions as yours, and will she bite your head off? The first card out is the 22 of the Fool, loving all that is, the 50 of the Cloak, and the Peacock. Peacock and Periwinkle were both coming up, and Periwinkle's Per Winkey. The 10 of Cups family, or are you under their canopy or your own? The 60 of Riding the Cosmic Wave of Koss and Mikey were coming up as a personal thing, or 2 swans on the Titanic, finding peace. The P seal. Now 50 and 60 are Enlil and Anu, and 15 is Inanna or Ishtar. And is Ishtar actually the same as Enki's sister? Or is that a grandchild? And it sounds like a grandchild because it's talking about someone who's dealing with the tree once it's grown. So that's not her. That would be a daughter or granddaughter. The feminine Fool holds love in their heart as he is cloaked by the 10 of Cups family and the mother praying, 2 moving independently and yet together. And is Inanna here discussing Enlil with his father, Anu? Is father the vehicle supporting the 2 swans? And then the 49 of the Woman of Light and the 9 of Cups, perhaps from the Mantis mother, receives the white light in indigo violet, but waits in the wings, balanced in green and gold, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Dancing between channel and healer, or quote-unquote receiver and giver. Across the waters, the 23 King of Wands, Capricorn, Aries, and peaceful water, the underlying energies of 8 and the earth, with bass roots, perhaps musical. And the 51 of the King of Swords, the 43 of the 3 of Cups, the King of Swords bird, and mermaid, 7 of fire here, with the unicorn and number 33, the Christ vibration, the messenger of earth, and that could be Taurus energy right there, a knight, the page of air spreading their wings, and the 2 of fire stuck on the giraffe as a guide. Hard work father who plays strings, and tough love mother who preys on them. The King of Swords and his children or grands, the mermaid magical, earthy and sensual, free, and the fiery one stuck in the lead. Coming together in suspended animation when time stood still, but the earth is fine with that very grounded energy. Because they're grounded energy, they're fine with that. All stopped except the King of Swords, with messenger of earth, or all of these parts are her, now put at a standstill as her sensual side comes out. The 3 of air and the Queen of earth, with the 7 of air, the Fool, and the 9 of fire. The angel human with royal bird parents, and a partner, but she is not a bird and doesn't really fit in. As the Queen of the earth, who's tribal and part angel, she with her wings hanging out with duck and geese friends, and now I'm seeing wings pointed down like Enki's twin sister. They're bigger than crowned. They're bigger than these birds that are crowned cardinals and jays, but still not as large as her. And they don't have arms. She takes the high ground standing up for herself as the Fool makes an announcement about 0 point, or ready to present, or musical performance. The wounded warrior, 9 of wands, is putting the stars together, or a lineup, but may not be happy stuck with that job, but maybe they will surprise themselves while they're in the midst of it. So the patience here in the underlying energy of the 16 at 10, 11, or 9 before and 11 after, the Earth's axis, 1/60th off, or 6 degrees of 360, which is 6 degrees of separation. The liberated angel with time, not on her side, but on her center, to show her where she's off a little bit, to the right or to the left. Here is airing to the light, just 1/60th, or 360 degrees, suddenly patient, with one last look. So there's this energy of the exact position of the Earth on its tilt. One last look back at so many different directions and confusion of lamp and light, and looking the other way with her light while hanging out in the middle of the bridge with bags packed and journaling strategy, key and lock, paper scrolled or in hand, musical bars, coins, compass, and feather all laid out as not to forget anything on the High Priestess or Divine Feminine's trip around the world. The Divine Feminine, number 2, and the Masculine, number 1, patient long enough, the time traveler's wife. It's time for her to travel, or at least write about them. The ship's log, Lady Liberty suddenly crossing over, but not, standing in the middle writing about it. As the first card out is the 3 of blossoming abundance of Mother Nature, the 23 of the King of Wands all tied up, with railroad ties, damsel in distress, this dress, and why do I have to wear them? 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, the world of Mother and King of Wands all tied up and nowhere to go, with the 14 of caring connection, or are they? With Aries and Earth Air, and Pisces and Taurus here, and now Sagittarius is reversed, the fallen angel in need of their higher connection. While Pisces is away, the Empress reversed and the King of Wands reversed, or Taurus reversed and Saggy reversed, as the 10 of a storm warning and 13 of financial constraints, where the cupboards are bare, and you're late for a very important date. Libra, Scorpio, or storm just blew through your town and emitted your chest. I'm not sure what that word is, if it's emitted or emptied your chest. Oh, that it blew through your town and emptied your chest like your cupboards. What are cupboards? Suburbs? Cupboards? the 48 of the Angel of Balance walking away and within, or just nothing to wear after trying your whole closet on. The underlying energy at 518, which is the Hierophant and the Moon, and romance perhaps, with Justice upright, Hermit reversed, the 8 of Wands reversed, the World upright, the 8 of Swords reversed, the 10 of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Swords reversed. As then the color white just came up. Libra upright, Virgo reversed, in a heated exchange, or just dealing with traffic, or delays to World, neighbor, Pisces, divine feminine, or blocks to wholeness, completion, coming full circle. Release from the 10 of Cups reversed, emotional cycle with the Queen of Swords reversed, or air sign behind them, with Scorpio upright, dark night, or ending complete as they keep their cards close to their chest, as the Page of Swords reversed is cutting them off, to end conflict before it begins. The Empress implements a plan here, putting their eggs in one basket to offer a new life to indecisive King of Cups reversed, with PTSD perhaps from the Queen of Wands reversed, to end the inner war of negativity, to share at a nice place or table for two by the water where everyone is welcome, or village fair, or settling out and waving goodbye as the King of Swords rejects the Queen of Pentacles reversed in a powerful ending, or vulnerable to pain ending it before it even begins. As the Queen of Pentacles reversed with the 9 of Cups upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, two ungrounded but both satisfied with a meet, or the Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles in a divorce meeting with the mediator who is pleased with themselves and getting their way, as the King of Pentacles reversed is grounding or integrating, or grounding and integrating, or bored of this separation, this disappointment, or weathering the storm, or just dealing with rainy weather, offering too little too late, as the Knight of Wands reverse falls short at work, or trying to play everyone at the table, and the wounded warrior Knight of Wands is not having it, and takes a rest or break. Two out in the cold with their injuries, or in exile until they deal with the fallout, their bad memories, and immature emotions of the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, both reversed, or just need to get this all done to lay things to rest for the sake of the kids affected by the emotional distress of coming together with the 10 of Pentacles upright, family, business, or community, because now they're the 5 of Pentacles. So somebody lost a lot of money, or somebody was cut out of the will, or divorced, walking into that good night, clearly with options, but confused as to which one, with some unknown factors here. Clearly off balance and frustrated, or turning down the High Priestess at a distance. There's some kind of passionate offer here. Clearly seeing it all. The past that was infected, as we talk about the thymus gland again. No growth and disconnect, the inability to agree, or emote face to face. The High Priestess, sister, or secret keeper, Pisces or Virgo looking back at lack of peace or turbulence, blocks, break up, break down, break in, break out, or break through, or an ambulance or ambulance chaser, or on the war path without a vehicle, or without options, or at a dead end with nowhere to go, as the Queen of Cups upright and King of Wands reversed, X, or with no affection, or Pisces upright, or Virgo upright, with Cancer in their chart, or who dealt with Cancer in the past, is grateful. And again, with white, Bianca also came up. Somebody's grateful for their life, even without sex, with the King of Wands reversed, longing for affection, or a twin who's indecisive, or with Gemini in their chart, or just longing for affection his mother never gave him at 550, which is the Hierophant and the 10 of Cups. The Ace of Cups is upright, offered by the Emperor to the King of Wands reversed, an offer of love and holding their tongue as not to mess it up, as the Emperor's unable to sleep or just stressed out, suffering in silence over his son, or Aquarius sister is, knowing how difficult the Emperor or father was, or grandfather or uncle was to grow up with, or being very unemotional, perhaps strict, as Teddy just barked, or demanding, he may be verbally abusive, or demanding his own way, but the Emperor's coming up upright here, or Aries or Aquarius, who's very detached, holding their tongue to offer love to the King of Wands reversed in great need of affection. They could be partners, but more likely father and son, or boss with a sharp tongue, or regretting what he said or what he lied about, and can't rest until he makes amends with the King of Wands reversed. Definitely could be a lie that that's been kept under the radar, or a split, or some kind of defeat, failure of a fallen angel, or losing their patience. As Aquarius is upright, Aries is upright, Sagittarius reversed, defenseless in a twist of fate, overworked or not working out, malalignment or suddenly sad, or has an epiphany about grief and emotions. With Saggy, Libra reversed, and Scorpio upright here, or the agony of defeat. Can't win, or losing their temper at a moment's notice. Disappointed in self. Star, healer, dreams come true. Falling out of the limelight into stillness. Hanging out to see new perspectives. Coming out as the magician, free as a bird, thanks to DNA of their father, or passing the baton, who has the sun at their back. The fool free to get up early or stay up all night, coming clean or cleaning up, or out with friends drinking all night. As Atlas is burdened by dependent breaking chains, or powerless to detox at 514, which is the Hierophant and the Angel, the Temperance card. Saggy and Taurus. Powerless to detox, or spendy Capricorn in their chart in the sun, exposing all, or loving children, one motivated and inspired and one not so much, or who's jealous and moody and being strong, taming the beast, or getting dog not to jump on them. Lots of positive Leo here, or sunny disposition. Pisces is also doubly strong, and Scorpio and Aries too, but not Sagittarius as they struggle here, and Cancer as well. Watch out for Aquarius's ego here, and Taurus can be comme ci comme ça, as Gemini and Virgo are great here in magic, but not so much emotionally one-to-one. Capricorn and Gemini and or Pisces part ways, as Aries and Taurus heartbreak or separation, or perhaps a minor procedure, or love to one who had a minor procedure. The Ten of Cups family is unhappy here with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Wands reversed is unhappy with the Emperor upright, or Sagittarius reversed and Aries upright. Saggy with a need for peace, to clean up their act or space or get some sleep. Lucky lady, pure of heart, takes a leap of faith, or sparked by an Aries with stormy seas or just bad weather and can't wait to get home or go to bed. As the King of Wands reversed is definitely Sagittarius reversed, wounded warrior upright, or with them constantly, or Scorpio, or dark night with Sagittarius and or Libra in their chart, who walks away disappointed, or I'm getting in disbelief here, or disappointed in self, with a realization here, after hearing all that someone else has been through, realizing theirs isn't so bad, and someone may be freezing themselves or freeing themselves from a deceptive group or family, or maybe freezing themselves out. Leo working hard, happy and being strong, but watery Knight of Cups reverse may be deceptive, moody, rejected, or with Cancer, or going through chemo or radiation and vomiting, or was out with friends all night and is now vomiting. Falling into some old behavior patterns, or falling off the wagon due to friends that are bad influences, and now realizing they need a new group of friends perhaps. Okay. So now I also did, is that this one? Let's see here. All right, so we're on the 19th now. And first thing that came up that morning was the 144 and the aster in Miracle. The aster is a star-shaped structure formed during mitosis of a cell. It also is now at this moment, and buyer. I was just getting buyer beware. And stella, like a star, or stellar J. The miracle is an object of wonder, to smile or be astonished, to mirror inexplicable event, or held as supernatural against all odds, is my interpretation right there. A star, a journeyer, an urgent path, which is a star. The miracle, my Ra key, or Morocco is coming up. The mirror key, and mira, which is the sight or glance, the intention to observe, the scope of gaze, to stare or marvel at, consider, to face, ant, target, purpose, object, the reference point. So then the pi came up again, right? The circle with the line down the middle, which equals 111, which equals 1v1, which equals the letter M. The pi era key. And myrrh also, and I had what was burning over here was frankincense and myrrh. So myrrh also a key. My myrrh. Or my your tiger self, your The mirror being key, to observe, marvel, gaze in it with intent, to face, purpose, sight, key, mother, eye, ray, key. And again, the Trinity coming up here of the Mother, Father, Son, and the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. As the miracle and aster causing a stir, a star, journeyer of urgent path, starring in splitting of cell, flowering miracle, the mirror key. Now at this moment, the stellar J, my Ra or Ray key, Morocco or sea that's rocky. So there may be some rocky seas around Morocco right now. The mirror key of A and M, the rocket and the mountain, that which is and that which moves mountains or planets, because a mountain is basically a planet. A star, of course, or co-creative act of key, which is earth. Aster is buyer, but the era in miracle is the mountains or mother's act of buying. That's key. To observe, mirror, Morocco, mother's rage, being key. The intent and reference point, the collective flowers or flowers, or buys into this. The collective flowers or buys into this, but Mother Nature seals the deal and has the buying power. Then Voyagers came up, the star Voyager on urgent path, the starship Voyager with Captain Kirk, and then the twin Voyagers of 1 and 2 came up, both aboard Titan Centaur rocket. Explored where nothing from Earth had gone before, the point of no return. After 40 years of a journey since 1977's launch, much farther from Earth and Sun than Pluto. In 2012, Voyager 1 entered into interstellar space, and Voyager 2 on November 5th, 18, through the DSN, or Deep Space Network. The primary mission was to explore Jupiter and Saturn, where Voyager 2 went further and beyond to Uranus and Neptune to explore beyond the outer planets and the outer limits of the sun's sphere of influence and possibly beyond. So again, leaving your sphere of influence, a new group of friends. So literally 2077 will be 50 years that they're out in space. And again, that information is from NASA. The star gets the planet to go out and buy for them or do their bidding for them, exchange for goods, devices, tech, or intelligence. 144 was coming up as John Riggins in the Super Bowl 17, which is the star. The star initiates. The miracle is the co-creation of rage, right? So the star triggers you, or whoever irritates you, in to get out any rage. Because if you had no rage in you, you wouldn't get triggered. So the star initiates the planets, or the miracle, which is the co-creation of rage. So say thank you when it comes up, because it's being seen. The violent passion of the earth and what it's been through, right? Because you're transmuting everything. And Mother Earth has a violent path, right? Just like any star. The star or sun triggers the earth into acting, like the quarterback star on the defensive end, triggering into making the play, buying the quarterback's story. 44 is usually worn by a safety or linebacker. And so John Riggins came up as number 1, John Diesel Riggins, as a Hall of Famer. Running back in 9 seasons for Washington, MVP, Super Bowl XV11, number 17, which is the star. And of course there were others listed, Stephen Davis and Marion Humphrey. Because he was I think he was a defensive back. He changed his number. He was a defensive back and went 29 to 44 after the Ravens signed Earl Thomas. And then Pete Retzlaff, which is the Eagles, is now the one and only number 44 in Sports Illustrated Philadelphia, as the Eagles retired his number after 11 seasons, and he was a running back, receiver, and tight end. He was also president of the NFL PA and Eagles VP and general manager, and he passed away the year of this article, which was April 10th, 2020, in Pottstown at age 88 in 2020, right? Perfect vision. So 144 is coming up as the magician, and the 44, which is the 4 of cups, or 4 C's, foreseeing, and the Atlas Mountains. Super Bowl 17, and the star. 1 to marvel at, Mother Nature's Atlas Mountains, number 44. Now my numerology book, 44 is Atlas, but in my cards, the 10 of Wands is Atlas, and number 44, the 4 of Cups, is Hercules, or her harvest. The one with the glory versus the hard worker with the weight of the world, they complement each other. The star with intent, and then to get the Atlas Mountains, right? They want to purchase the Atlas Mountains, but the Atlas Mountains is the act of the purchase. They want to get them to do their dirty work for them, but the Atlas Mountains also wants the star to do their dirty work for them. They don't want to be up front. They don't want to be seen. As the fortnight and 4 nights is the 14 days, or being in a days, with the 4 nights at the gate, or 14 plus 4, which is 18, and Kai, or life, the world built in a week, and grounding and integrating the 4 C's, week 2, and the 4 nights at the gate is the welcome committee, the 7 of the chariot to carry you home. 14 plus 4 is 18, and then 7 of the chariot, but also the other way, 144 is 1 and 4, which is 8, so sometimes I'll reduce that to 1, 8, so it comes up as 18 again, which is 8 minus 1, which is 7. So both horizontally and vertically, 144 came up the same way, but also 18 plus 7 then is 25, which is a 7, and the Knight of Wands, key to the 52 of Lady Liberty. They reflect each other. So then when I wrote that down, because the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups also equals 77, 52 and 25, and then 24, the Queen of Wands, plus 53, which is the Knight of Swords, equals 77. But the Queen of Pentacles doesn't match with a Knight, because 66 is with 11, which is justice, truth, and balance. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles. She's been through all the other suits. So then I looked up the Knight of Pentacles, would also be sovereign, with 10 to add 77, which for me, anyway, 10 and 11 are both Libra energies of the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. So here's that perfect balance where Virgo meets Libra, right, in the middle of the chart. And here we have the Knight of Pentacles with the destined wheel, and the Queen of Pentacles with justice, truth, and balance. The Aster is like the queen, or the buyer, and the miracle is the knight, or the act of buying, the action. The 4 knights act on the behalf of the queens at 9:33, which is the Hermit and the Christ vibration. The Hermit and the 7 of Wands, the one who wants to be seen and the one who doesn't want to be seen, the one that's still and the one that's still standing. The Queen's gambit is her knight in shining armor, and her knight is her own masculine side. All 4, 180, when they added together were 180 and 128, which is again referencing 144. 1 is the star, and then 80 80 days around the world, and then the one of the star in 28, which is the twin flames. The Chi and the moon of 18, and the twin flames, which is F, which is digamma waves, the sun. So we have the moon and the sun of all of the couples being coupled up, of the queens and the knights, destined and address of 1440 and 11414, as the moon and the sun push and pull to life, l'chaim, with high aim. Mr. Ed and the horsepower to aim with intent. The horse, which is the whore that sees the power aimed. The knight. The knight turns black. And the aim key was coming up as N key. The knight twins turns black. So it's Enki and his twin, right? Because she went down to the underworld. And I posted the knight as the feminine today. So here's the aim key is N key. And the other side of it is the knight is the feminine energy. The temple of Christ at earth, Lord Master and JC, which is the toroidal field, the directional key, where Aster plus M is master, and Iraq plus M is miraculous. Mastering the era or rage key, the indigenous relative, family, friend, fire, water, and violent passion and grief. Turning black is being burned. Cause black don't crack. Mastering that slow burn. The hardening of the skin. The tough skin is the reptilian that's within us. And coming correct with this side of yourself, because you are all of it. M. Aster and M. Iraq key. Iran to Japanese, or the Jewish American princess temples. Master in miracles. A Course in Miracles is coming up here. Iran to Princess Bride. Shirley Temple and the good ship Lollipop dropped a lick, but kept on ticking. So dropped a lick is like the earth's tilt, but kept on ticking. LOL, I pop dropped or drop kicked. I quarterback, back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are. Russian quarterback. So I looked up Russian quarterbacks, and the page that came up was from November 5th, 17, and it came up as 448 views. It was 448 point something, 516 views. But again, week 17 came up, so the star came up again. The top 5 Russian quarterbacks, 12, 27, 23, and the writer of the article, his picks. The top one was Josh Allen, which was number 1, and he's number 17, the star. But the number 1 was Jalen Hurts, who was in the 4th position of the Eagles. So here we have 2 Eagles players coming up. The Bills, the Ravens, the Bears, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. At 10:23, as a gnat landed, quickly. Unforgettable. 10 and 23 is the Wheel and the King of Wands. So Josh Allen, or All In, Lamar Jack's son, just in Fields, as Jail and Hurts. And Jail's in Jail Beach, Albania, I think. I'm blanking out. But Jail and Hurts. And then Patrick is Patrick's Mahomes, for Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts, number 1. John Riggins is number 44. So here we have the star and, right, the one who supports, the supporting role. Star Hurts Riggin Miracle. 144 and 144s, which is 288, or 2 twin crazy 8 stance. Okay. So on the 20th, I opened my eyes. I woke up at like 2:14 in the morning. I didn't wake up. I just opened my eyes, which is weird for me. And I saw an energy ball coming towards me. And I didn't feel any fear or anything. I just saw an energy ball coming towards me. And then I was getting the energy of the sun. And then I looked at the ceiling, literally, and there's this big shadow in the middle of the ceiling, which can be deemed as scary at night. But it was in the shape of a crab. And I immediately was getting Cancer and Leo in the Olympics, and the mother and child. the protector and the star. Again, the linebacker, right, and the quarterback, or the whoever's blocking. So when I pulled the past life deck in the morning, the underlying energy came up Egypt, and the first card out was the baby in the basket, which is Moses again. And I was getting Mo and C's and Manny, Mo, and Jack. And then at 10:10, the fortune deck cut as the underlying energy of unity and fire, 34 and 10. The underlying energy of Metatron then from the Ascension deck with 27, with Mother Mary's aquamarine mantle, number 52. And the underlying energy of trust, and then time apart came up in that deck. And the miracle is you. The biblical karmic relationship from Egypt, the baby in a basket, and mother counting on angels to watch over them, teaching them to write or journal, to play music, to be creative at 10:19, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. And then Pep Boys and Sears Auto came up, and picture J.P. Sears with number 38, Queen of Cups, and all as also the Awakening with JP also came up, which is something different. It's a conservative YouTube comedian. And then Sears Island came up, which is off Maine. That many projects were they tried to start there, but they never got built. And now there's supposed to be a wind turbine port on Sears Island. Also, the Oakland A's come up here, debuting in 2022 as J.P. Sears. I think he was struggling a bit. But regarding the 144,000, there was on that page was 144,000 search results. The light tagged with 4 runs, which was the heading for him, the baseball player. And then the 3 stooges, Mo, Larry, and Curly came up, 3s and 8s, and then 3s and 8. And it came up first with the U.S. Senate, and 3s and 8 also came up with 15 things to do in Zakynthos in Greece. It's an island, as the Greek islands already came up today. And the 4th entry was triazane, which is NH2, NH2, or N3H5, acyclic azane, or it's connected to ammonia. And then trionate was really what I was trying to get, the 3 and 8 trionate, which is magnesium L-threonate, right? So when you have an issue with your DNA regarding absorption of certain things, you're usually guided to take the L version of the vitamin to make up for that. So magnesium L-threonate may be coming up for a lot of people, so you might want to check that out. And then the energy exchange with fiery destiny, with the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Swords, and Libra's energy in energetic exchange, the 10 and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the gold orange of Luxor in Egypt, and stellar gateway, so here's that stellar star coming up again, and the aquamarine mantle of Mother Mary and love and angels coming up there. And miracle in Gematria comes up as 148, by the way. Miracle. The number 80 was also coming up as the 8D, infinite axis spin, and source supported dance or courage, health, and lion energy. Let's see what else came up. So the golden orange star, or the stellar gate, Mother Mary, aquamarine mantle, Mother Earth, angels, and love. And I pulled some tea leaves, and March Through the Forest came up with the vase, which is go see the fire. So someone might be having a forest fire, or seeing the forest through the trees. Go see the forest fire. The crown and the door, honor and respect will come to you as an opportunity is waiting for you. The woman moon, that can be reference a Cancer energy, changes your life and happiness and vacation. And there the kite came up. Cobwebs protect you from forces beyond your control. And the bull, do not back down from opposition. Show your strength and fortitude. The chair is empty as someone is leaving your life. And the door, right? When one door closes, another opens. There's a broken ring and parting of ways in romance or business, with the wall and misunderstanding. The box, the horse, and the hat, as you will receive a gift. A short journey, perhaps, playing a different role or wearing a different hat. The treasure chest, the horse, and the cake topper, topping the cake. The dolphin, the treasure or gift and vehicle tops the cake. Dolphin and financial gain from something you did in the past. The queen's door of opportunity, or the queen's gambit, in romance, vacation, or gift. The bull and the dolphin, the war of the roses, and BS, as I posted BS with the B. The Taurus is the bull, but Scorpio is the shit. My son really liked that because he's Scorpio. But there's an empty throne, but also can be referenced as the toilet there, and talking about poop. Taurus is the bull, but Scorpio is the shit, and Capricorn is the devil, but the Scorpio is the devil's advocate. So those are some of my evisms that I was also posting on Instagram. So 1010 and keys, Master Yeshua, and Luke 11 came up under that. Right, and notice that Luke 11 is Lu, Ki, El, like Lu is on an even keel. $707 came up as Phoenix Rising. $744, Surround, I am Yeshua, brother and sister. Again, City of Brotherly and Sisterly Love just came up. 844 is I Have a Dream, So Do You. And then 555 From Dark to Light. Okay, so going back to the thymus visual with the two circles together and the H in the middle, as we're coming up to today, and again, the energy of, I always call Athena, aka Hercules, like being the son that her father always wanted, comes up as 44 and 52 being the same energy as Athena or Hercules. And again, that aha moment. 96 back to back and corded. Lady Liberty holds the torch for a while. And again, the hypothalamus being referenced to the other endocrine system, glands and such. So what was coming up here is two pies, right? So you have the two circles with a line through them, and then the H gets connected. So you have the H supporting the system of the two worlds, right? The vertical lines being the masculine, connecting to source, and then the feminine with a foot in each world, holding it together. But again, the glands are all coming up. The pineal gland, the thymus, and then the pituitary, and the adrenals coming up in like a system of information here, where the two circles not connected, right? They're not overlapping, they're side by side with the H in them, comes up as the pi and the pi of the pineal gland of the 3D and the 5D. And as we deal with the T cells of T and T, which is coming up as the thymus of thy and thy, we have the H to the pi, right? Two pi's to the singular pi. And then the pituitary is pit, and pitu, which means 7, and 7, which is 77. So they equal sovereignty here, ultimately. And then it's also pitu is also two seeds or two U's. And then the adrenals come up as AD, or after death, or ADR, which is after a doctor, or after death drive, or plow. And I'm just going to show you the visual because it's hard to explain if you haven't seen the visual yet. And I redrew it a couple different times, but here you see it. Here's like the 3D world and the 5D world, the masculine in 3D and 5D, keeping that connection with source so that the feminine can keep the gate open between the worlds. and then thy and thy of the two T's of the thymus gland, and again they come together and make the pi symbol again in a different way, as we have 44, and remember I just said 44 and 52 are basically the same thing, and here we have the Christ vibration, and then we have the 7 to 7, and again this line just keeps changing. Here it's here, here it's here, and here it's in two halves as they become independent. The two circles come together, and we don't need the vertical lines anymore because they're just two dots with an arc, which then becomes the other circle. They become integrated. And then here is the adrenals, where then this is like the sword and the stone. Here the masculine keeps that vertical energy grounded through the earth, right? Keeping it all together in this energy. And you see how this becomes the eye opening up, the portal here. And again, AD having to do with the other side, because it has to do with death. The rocket spin of the divine masculine and feminine, and the 1 and the 8, or the A and the all. All is one, the sword and the stone. The 96 rising and the AE of ashes, which are just reflections of each other. The 40 and the 52 equals 96. That corded energy of Atlas and the Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty, which again is Athena and Atlas and Hercules. So the first one with the two pies is 1 to 1, the holy of the masculine and the whole, or the emptiness, of the feminine. And then the two T's, which is temper tantrum as well, of thy and thy, which equals pi, is moving in with top dog's house, or the masculine connecting with the father energy, the infinite path. But also the feminine side is that all roads lead home. And again, that energy of 0 point. And then when the two circles merge into that Vesica Pisces symbol, with the 77, we have the merging of the worlds, the two seeds, the two peas in a pod, the 698 pod, the pair of twins, it becomes the 8, right? But integrated. The two keys of 77 flipped inside out, through and through. Pi 2, pi U. So then the 8s came up, and I looked them up on Gematria: 88, 888, and 8888. And the first entry for 88 is bear, both the beast, and the second one is bear, as in B-A-R-E. And then down the line there, Iceman came up, which I noticed, and RH under 88. And then triple eights was Mick Hin, and I've seen it before, but I have no idea what it means. So of course I had to look it up, and I don't know if I got a correct answer, but I got what I needed. So M-Y-K and H-Y-N, and then the Holy Son of God, divine plan. And then down the line we have this AE000, A Mick-Kin again, akin to Pandora's box, fractal geometry, and Augustus, which is August. And then there's Mick0 with a slash through it, Hin, which had numbers 888, but also 666 and 111, so it was very synchronized right there. And God is safe from dying. And then it's called the 14th entry was the Holy Double 8, which was triple eights. The 4 8s is the U.S. of Human Science Experiments has the highest population of transhuman mutants, hybrids, and genetically altered people than any country in the entire world. The second entry was full liberty power, activation, defense, and again, these things don't have to mean anything. I mean, you use your intuition. They're just entries. They mean nothing. The full liberty power, activation, defense, intelligence agency, countering information warfare act of 2016, the red tape is cut. And the third entry that came up was path of love, a path of righteousness, God the Holy Spirit, angel host, twin flame, rise up. We were with you from the beginning. So Mick is soft, buying and selling the ancient Koine Greek, weighing innate, comparing souls. The energy of buying and selling was really about, they're saying, was really about comparing souls. But MYK means soft trick to soften mold, swampy mucus fungus. And again, I always go to Wiktionary for my definitions because it has worldwide definitions. And then HYN was himself she skin in these, husband to descend or fall, the descent, right, of the masculine. And then it ultimately comes up as HTTP with 2 backslashes, which was we're coming up as the 66, which is the Queen of Pentacles again, which HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Queen of Pentacles and Justice comes up again there. And then pi times 3 came up as well, which is 9.42. 3.14 is the Empress and the Temperance card. It was coming up as 9.42, which is the Hermit and the 2 of Cups, or being patient for 1-to-1. There's the H again. The Knight of Pentacles and their 5D connection. So Mikhin is you, according to Alchemopolis, which is no longer on there. Like the search is there, but when you open it, there's nothing there. That was from 10/11/2021. And the header just said, if we are all gods as well as one God as a whole, then this is the inner subtle face of God that we have just uncovered. You, us, we are the AI generating our own algorithms. And then it had something to do with the Q codes and Tyler, the word Tyler. So I did my own little discoveries with Mikhin, M-Y-K-H-Y-N. And it was very interesting because if you add up the numbers of Mikhin, the simple numbers, 472 and 875, it equals 33. And if you do the full numbers, like M is 13, it equals 88. I was also getting the energy of Finnish mark after the 1960s. So Finland was coming up, and the now moment also. And one of the meanings is 9, which is the one and all, and compassion. And keen also comes up again. So keel and keen, and a keen is that 144 indestructible cells that they talk about, but also means my cows. And again, a kind of a CGS system. And to move or movement was coming up here as well. And to be royal or of a king. My energy of the High Christ was coming up as Mikhin. The 7 of Wands of the Christ energy, and then the 88 of the Bear, RH and OHM, which is electrical resistance, a difference of 1 volt that leads to the current of 1 ampere. And the symbol is Omega and W. So the cattle raid was coming up again here. And Mikhin is which kin. And then the Akin again came up, associated with the thymus. And Akin being the Lemurian essence of who you are, or the single seed, like the buttercup, which is Mary Magdalene's flower, and then keen or melody, K-E-E-N, melody, to know and you will soon, to make cold, to utter a wordless cry. And there was that energy to make cold after the heating up of plasma and then getting really freezing into the Bose-Einstein energy. And then Iceman means assassin, ancient human, male mummified on ice, or just being cool under pressure and frosty. I, 2 JCs, ICCC, and then ENEN, which is we, us, alone, to give birth, to yearn. 1 inward, 4 an island come up there. So 1, I, we, us, to give birth to inner child. My essence, my seed, my tick, as in like a timing thing, tick, and melody. At 212, which is the divine feminine and the hanging man. And today, I already talked about that stuff. So there we go. And how long are we? It's 2 hours and 58 minutes. I just turned 24. So 2 is the divine feminine high priestess. The 23 was the king of wands again, and the 58 is the 4 of swords. And it's 5:52 on the clock, which is the 5 of the Hierophant, 52 of the queen of swords, but also the 55 of the truth, and the 2 of the divine feminine high priestess. So let's just pull a real quick card of messages of love. So I hope you could appreciate all of the really cool, profound energy that came through in these messages. If you don't understand it all, don't try to. Don't try to think it. Just feel it, and it will come up. Your own messages will come to you. For the best and highest good of all that's concerned, what is our closing message here for the twin flames? I have a couple, because these want to come out too. Protected. So again, there's that energy of the protection, the star and the protector. You are safe and divinely guided. Different pages. You and this person don't share the same vision. And then we have stability. This relationship can stand the test of time. And again, it's that holding that H open. Twin flame. This is a divine counterpart connection. You already know the answer you seek. So the underlying energy is release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. Really cool. So all those stories connected for sure. So remember to drink your water, get your rest, your joy, your nature. Get your feet out there in the grass. Ground yourself and enjoy yourself. Breathe deeply every day and enjoy all of your emotions. Allow everything and just be present and observe it. So I hope you like this one, guys. I'll see you next time. Rise and be love. Bye, guys.